This is 100 to 1, an exciting journey that I'm taking where my goal is to get 100 answers from different executives and high-level leaders to one question. A question about a significant relationship or a connection that was pivotal to getting them to the position that they're in now. My name is Tim, and today we're talking to Taylor, the Chief Marketing Officer at OKClear, to understand from him about the relationships that helped him to get to the place he's in right now. Let's take a listen. Well, I guess we can start off with the easy one. So the study that I'm doing is, like I said, talking to, high-level executives, presidents, some influential business owners, just to really talk about what significant connection or, how do they value, a particular connection or relationship that they had that they felt was pivotal to getting to the position that they're in right now.
Yeah, I mean, there are a bunch of people that had an influence, I think in my career, throughout the years. So One of them was a guy early on in my career, Fergus O'Carroll was his name. And he was my boss when I was an account executive, an account manager at an advertising agency. And not only did he kind of teach me to have a great appreciation for kind of smart, creative work, but also to make sure that creative product was rooted in a specific consumer insight. But I think the one guy that had a profound impact on me was Bill Boyd. Right. I don't know if you remember Bill from your time at Agility, but he recruited me away from the agency world, and I think there are a lot of things about Bill that on all areas of my life he had an impact. But when I think of Bill, I always think of, he was always so positive. He was the most optimistic, positive person I've ever known. And the other thing about Bill too is that he was the first person I had ever heard in my professional career say that they were proud to be a salesperson. It seems like such a weird statement to make.
To be proud to be a salesperson?
Yeah. It's like, I think salespeople, they get a bad rap in a lot of ways because of all the stereotypes, right, that are out there. And Bill was the kind of guy that, even though he was the chairman of Agility, and he was the chairman of the board of a publicly traded company, and he had tremendous success in his career, right? But if you were to sit next to him on a plane and say, "Hey, what do you do for a living?" He'd say, "I'm a salesperson."
So him saying that, so him kind of sharing of his pride in his profession, his pride in being a sales guy, how did that translate to you? Like, what was the translation that it got for you in your role?
Yeah, so
move forward.
It was interesting to me because, in most organizations, there is this inevitable rift that forms between sales and marketing in particular. And so, the sales guys look at the marketing group as being kind of prima donnas who are out of touch. The marketing guys, look at the sales folks as being, slackers who don't have to, who don't work very hard and make a fine living. Yeah. And so there's always this kind of chasm between the two. And I'd witnessed that time and time again before I came to Agility. And so when I heard that from Bill, it kind of got the wheels spinning. So I was like, oh, that's interesting, right? It's like I'd never heard about somebody talk so passionately, poetically, and in such favor of the sales culture before. So when I came to Agility, my perspective was, let's look at the sales team, the salespeople, as our client. Let's do all those things that you would typically do to make sure that that client is happy and successful at their job. And so all of our efforts went towards, making sure they had the right tools to use, right? The right PowerPoint decks, or the right follow-up materials, or the right videos, or, email templates, some stuff that's very boring and mundane, but it's really, really impactful. And so that's kind of how we approached it. That thought was planted by Bill on day one at Agility.
I mean, I can see that. I can see how that translated for you from a marketing and messaging side to, to what you actually did for, for the sales folks based on Bob's proclamation. That's awesome. So when you look at the trajectory of when you started, because I think a lot of folks that would be consuming this once this study or whatever this is over, is just kind of looking at, if I'm starting at square zero, I'm an analyst, or I'm in the mailroom or whatever, and I'm looking at the CMO or the CEO or the president, or some very kind of high and aspirational goal that I want to be at, whether in my industry or in some other industry, whether in my main job or in my side hustle, and looking at what are the steps to get there. Obviously, there's a skill set of expertise that you need to have. I guess my question to you is, as you look at your progression in your career from right out of the gates to to the position that you're in now, was there an intentionality for meeting the right people, or harnessing a particular relationship to get to that next level?
I don't know if there's one person who I would say these guys were responsible for helping my career evolve, but there's certainly hallmarks for those folks that helped to mold me. I think hard work is one of them. I'm a big believer in that hard work, and it helps to level the playing field at the very least. In most cases, it gives you a competitive advantage because folks, they just aren't willing to put in the work to get to that next step. When I think about the kind of the role models I had throughout my career, and they always went above and beyond the call of duty.
Part of the reason I'm kind of researching this out is because I will admit that, folks in my generation want the success without the hard work, because they think it's, this overnight thing. You can just kind of figure out some algorithm and, pop out success on the other side, where, that being able to do the work, learn the skill set, get the expertise, go above and beyond, not just do the work well, but like you said, go, do it extra, deliver something special. There's that piece of it. But at the other side of it is also, well, if I can just find somebody who can propel me to that, or connect with someone who, has that expertise or has that skill set that can, mentor me, or, show me the ropes, or, make the right introductions or open the doors or what have you. So there's like that aspect of networking and the benefits that, networking and connecting with the right people have. But I think there's also that missing side of, well, you got to do the work too. You got to be committed to it. You got to be a practitioner of, whatever it is that you're trying to do and deliver excellence, or else all these other things, these networks, these connections, these mentors, these, relationships or whatnot, really kind of start to devalue.
Yeah, I think, the reality is, when it comes to like a mentor or a relationship like that, you will get into it. You will get out of it what you put into it, right? And so the same holds true for any job that you take on, and hard work's a big piece of that. A mentor, just because he's successful and well connected, is not going to make or break your career because of people he can introduce you to. You have to do that heavy lifting, right? They might be able to help grease the skids and make an introduction to somebody, but it's going to be up to you to take the ball and run with it.
Right.
And in many cases, it's going to be up to you to push the mentor to get you where you need to be. Right. I mean, if you're looking to really advance, and I think the other thing too is that when it comes to, all the folks that I'm thinking about, when it comes to those that had a really profound influence in me in my career, almost all of them really wanted to see me succeed as well. Mm-hmm. Not necessarily the company succeed, and that was the end result, but they wanted to see me succeed so that, and they weren't afraid of me leaving either. Right. I mean, it was like they saw, my success as a direct result of their guidance. Right. And they are proud of that. Right. And I think that's kind of what you want to look for in a mentor, somebody who will take pride in seeing your success.
What an awesome awesome conversation. And we learned a lot about hard work and intentionality and how that factors in even when trying to build relationships to get to the next level. Thank you so much for listening. Please look out for the next episodes of 100 to 1. Once again, my name is Tim. Have a great day.